So let's just hit record. All right, so we are on our third call on Connection tonight. It is December 15th, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get started. All right, so the first video is called The People Path. Hopefully you guys have your notes handy, your worksheets.
In this lesson, I want to talk to you about connecting matters. Now, connecting with people is one of the power of five. We've already talked about the fact that growth matters in your life and my life. Our personal growth matters. Well, to be very successful in network marketing business, you need not only grow personally, you need to be a major connector, a major relator. You with me? You know, who do you know that I should know? And the connecting really matters. And so this is number two power as far as the things that will help you to be excellent and excel in network marketing. So I'm in the 7th grade, and the first book my father gave me to read when he put me on the allowance of reading books, the first book he gave me to read was Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I read it as a 7th grader. I read it as an 8th grader, 9th grader, 10th grader, 11th grader, 12th grader. I read it 6 times by the time I graduated from high school, and I took 2 Dale Carnegie courses with my dad. And I can still, I've gone back to the book, okay? The book I had when he gave it to me as a 7th grader. And I went back the other day and I just went to some of the quotes I had underlined when I was in the 7th grade. Quotes like this: "Every man I meet is my superior in some way, and in that I will learn from him. Success in dealing with people depends on my sympathetic grasp of the other person's viewpoint. To be interesting, be interested. Talk to someone about themselves and they'll listen for hours." As a 12-year-old kid, I began walking down what I call the people path. That's what I call, when I try to connect and relate with people, the people path. I have that book in my, if you went to my home, in my office, I've got a library, and I got a section of books that really changed my life. And I keep them visible so that when I work at my desk, I can look at them because they're inspirational to me. And there are not a lot of them. I would say, I've really never counted, but I'm going to say there would be maybe 30, 32 books that I can look at and say, let me tell you how that changed my life. Let me tell you how that changed my life. And so as I write and as I work at my desk, I look over at those books. And every once in a while, if I have 5 minutes, I'll go pull one out and kind of look at it. And I'll look at the things that I marked in the books and the little notes that I made, because I used to write down in the front all the things that in the page numbers and, you know, where that thought and idea was. And it just brings an incredible smile on my face. And so let me talk to you from what I know about connecting and how it matters, and it's a power. It's one of the power five. Let me talk to you about connecting practices. Okay, I have some connecting practices that I think will help you, and it will certainly help the people that are on your team. The first connecting practice that I would talk to you about very briefly is practice adding value to people every day. Make it a practice that every day you intentionally add value to people. And again, I do 5 things every day very intentionally in this practice. I give them to you, just take the notes and we'll move on. I don't have time to elaborate, but I do 5 things. In the book, I do elaborate, but I don't have time here. Every day, number 1, I value people. It all starts with that. If you don't value people, you will not add value to them. In fact, the degree that I value people is the degree that I'll add value to them. So from a 1 to a 10, if I have a 10 value on people, I'll do a 10 as far as adding value to them. If I have a 2, I'll do a 2. Are you with me? You'll put effort into the cause based upon how much you value those people. So every day I value people. Every day, number 2, I think of ways to add value to people. In fact, this teaching here with you, leaders in network marketing, is one of my intentional ways of adding value to you, of thinking of how can I add value to you. In fact, I spent, okay, you ready? I'd already developed these lessons 2 weeks ago. I spent 5 hours last night and this morning going over these lessons again. Because I so value your time. Every one of you have places you could be today, people you could be with, things that you could be doing. I so value your time. I would never allow you to come and hear me without me making sure that I was giving you 100% of my effort. Why would I ever cheapen this relationship? Does that make sense? So if that's the case, then I've got to be thinking ahead. How can I add value to you? So I'm tweaking. I'm up at 5 o'clock, so I'm tweaking, changing stuff and saying, oh, this would be better if I did that. And I'm looking at lessons I did 2 weeks ago and said, boy, John, that's kind of crap. You could do better than that. And so I'm upgrading and just making them better and think, oh, this might work. And I think maybe that'll help. You with me? Because let me tell you something. If you think ahead on how you're going to add value to people, when the opportunity comes, you'll add value to people. Again, John Wooden, when opportunity comes, it's too late to prepare. Thinking ahead is intentional living. It's intentional thinking.
All right. They're real quick. Being in the people business.
So every day I value people. Every day I think of ways to add value to people. Number 3, every day I look for ways to add value to people. And let me tell you, who we are determines what we see. So if I'm looking for ways to add value to people and I'm adding value to people, guess what I'll do? I'll find ways to add value to you. That's why one person can be adding value to you and another person can be with you not adding a value at all. It's not that we aren't in the same environment. We're in the same environment. It's not that we're not together. We are together. It's not that we're not in the same place. We're all, everything. What makes the difference between one doing it and one not doing it? One values the person, thinks of ways to add value to people ahead of time, looks for ways. You see, what I look for is what I see. So if I look at you and I say, I'm going to add value to you, guess what? I'll see something that will add value to you. Just like if I don't think I'm going to add value to you, and that's not in my mind, I won't add any value to you. We'll just have a conversation. So, value people, think of ways to add value to people, look for ways to add value. Number 4, every day I do things that add value to people. This is action. It's more than thinking. It's more than looking. It's doing. Don't tell me what you're going to do. Show me what you're going to do. And then number 5, every day I encourage others to add value to people. Wow. Every day. Every day I encourage others to add value to people. That's what I'm doing now with you. I'm encouraging you. I'm adding value to you, but you're going to turn around and add value to people. I mean, there are hundreds of thousands of people that are going to be blessed because you're here today. Hundreds of thousands of people. They're going to be better because you're sitting here learning, growing, because you're a river. You're not a reservoir. You're not going to just hold this for yourself. You're going to pass it on, right? You're going to give it to someone else. Okay, so practice adding value to people. Let me give you another practice. Practice walking slowly through the crowd. We are in the people business. I can still remember when I pastored a church in San Diego, California, I had a young, very promising staff member. The kid was highly gifted. And there were about 8 or 10 of us right in the reception area. And this was right when the doors were opening and, getting ready for business, whatever. And so there are 8 or 10 of us, and we're just talking, just having a nice conversation for a moment. And Dan walks in, and he's got his briefcase, and he looks at us, he puts his head down and walks right past us. And he goes to his office, and I told the girl, I said, excuse me for a moment. So I went in there, and I followed him. He sat behind his desk and he's opened up his briefcase and he's got everything orderly and ready and for his day. And I'm sitting on there saying, looks up and he said, oh, hi. He said, Pastor, how you doing? I said, I'm doing fine. I said, you just walked by a bunch of people. You never stopped to say hi, or you just kind of walked by us. Well, he said, yeah, I got a lot of work to get done. I said, you just passed your work. I got to do some level setting here. You got to understand, these are people. And you walk slowly through the crowd. You value the people. If you ask Dan Ryland today, he would tell you that day changed his life. He became Mr. People Person. He realized that his work wasn't in his briefcase. His work was the people around him at all times. You see, we're doing this teaching today, and I'll do a little bit more tomorrow with you. And then I'm going to head out tomorrow night, and I'll go to Peru and speak to a large convention there. And then I'll go to Paraguay and do 3 days there, meeting the president of the country and doing some transformational stuff. And what happens is, when I travel internationally, all the security people try to keep me away from the people. So they're always moving me away, and I'm always trying to move to them. And I drive them crazy. Because you see, they here, listen very carefully. They have an attitude that's wrong. And their attitude, here's their attitude. We have a very important person here.
Yeah.
So we need to move him along, and can't talk to you. No, you can't say hi to you. Can't, oh no, you can't get a picture. No, you can't. No. And they get this bear crater, and they kind of move me in all these places. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm trying to, wave over there, and sometimes help. I'm trying. Could somebody rescue me from these people that are going to keep me safe, perhaps, but have no clue about life? So they always take me through kitchens and convention centers. I know all the kitchens in the world. And I drive them crazy because they put me in the kitchens and move me around so that I don't have to go out with the crowd. So I hang out with the kitchen people. I go over and ask them what they're doing. I'll say, here, I got my camera. Do you mind? Can I have a picture with you? Drives them crazy. And the people love it. Can I tell you something? I'm not the most valuable person there. I came to the most valuable people. Let's always understand the value is with the people, not with us. So I walk slowly through the crowd. I hang with the people. And the only people that don't like you hanging with the people are people that aren't any good with people. Let me give you one other one. This is a huge connecting practice. Oh, I wish I had time for this one. I want to talk to you for a moment about practice, what I call discover and practice your connecting strengths. So let me teach on this for just a moment, because you all have connecting strengths. If I got to know you well, one of you in this room have unique, distinct, exceptional connecting strengths. And you need to discover what they are. And when you discover what they are, then you need to develop them. And so for teaching purposes, I'm going to give you exactly what I mean. I'm going to give you my 6 connecting strengths, okay? I know them well. Number 1 is humor. I connect with people because I have a sense of humor in my life, and I just have to think basically everything's kind of funny. And so I use humor continually with people because I learned a long time ago that they'll laugh with you, they'll love you. So so now, if by the way, if humor is not your connecting strength, don't go there. The other day, honest to God, I was out to dinner with a guy who tried to tell a joke. And I so desperately wanted to go over to him and put my arm around him and say, don't do that to us anymore. We all had to give him a false laugh when it was over. Like, oh God. Another connecting strength of mine is authenticity. I'm very comfortable with who I am. I'm very comfortable in my own skin. That's why I'm always relaxed with people, because I know who I am. Got it all figured out. It's a strength of mine. And people, they migrate to it. They say, oh my gosh, John, you just, I just want to get to know you more. It's because it's a strength of mine. Another one is confidence. I convey confidence very well. I'm a very confident person, and I give people confidence. I give people security when they're around me. Are you with me? Now, these are connecting strengths, and I'm not liking this very much because it's making me look like I'm better than I am. And I'm not this good, okay? So just look at your neighbor and say, John's not that good. Go ahead and tell him, just John's not that good. That makes me feel better. You follow me? Okay? This makes me feel better because I'm not that good, but I'm trying to help you. If I can't help you unless I talk to you about what I know, and these are not your connecting strengths, but you have them. You probably have more than I have. You may have many better than I have, but you got to figure out what they are, because when you figure it out, you use them all the time. Are you with me? I not only use it in teaching you, every one of the things I'm doing right now, you're sensing every one of these things. You'll say, yeah, he is that. Oh, yeah, that's John. That's John. Well, you've got yours. And whatever that DNA is that is authentically who you are, that's a connecting strength for you. And you want to, then you go find it and you go develop it and you practice it with people. Number 4 is hope. I'm a major hope guy. When people are around me, I can give hope. I turn the light on all the time. You know what? I go in every room. If it's dark, I'm switching lights on, baby. I'm switching lights on. Because can I tell you something? Once somebody turns the light on for you, you'll spend the rest of your life turning the light on for other people. I'm just a light turner on her. I'm sure that's the word, but I flip the light switch all the time. I give hope. Passion is a connecting strength of mine. And the reason it's a connecting strength is because when I was a young pastor, I started teaching things I didn't truly believe. And I didn't like how I felt. And finally, I just said, if I don't really passionately believe this, I'm not going to teach it. And that was a life-changing decision for me, because I just said, okay, there are certain things I'm going to put over here on the counter, and I'm going to go teach what I've experienced, what I know, what I feel. Passion is huge in me. I mean, you're around me, you're going to get energy and you're going to get passion. Let me tell you something. When you're around me, you don't think of taking a nap. Let's put it that way. You don't start yawning and say, ooh, this too shall pass. The last connecting strength of mine is simplicity. It's a huge connector for me. My name is John, and I'm your friend. Everything that I do and say is reachable, touchable, simple to understand. I have 3 degrees in college. I have an earned doctorate. But can I tell you something about education? Educators take something simple and make it complicated. I take things complicated and make it simple. Because I learned a long time ago, people want to do things that they feel they can reach and touch and feel and taste and see. So I work hard on making it simple. I just closed out that when I was a pastor and I had this huge church, people would, during the break, because I walked slowly through the crowd, I never dismissed it. We had 5 services. I just hang around between services. People come up and talk to me. I didn't go rest. I tell people, why don't you rest on Saturday and Monday? I mean, let me give you times to rest and times not to rest. Can I tell you something? Oh, I wish I had time to teach the 100% principle. You don't have to be 100% all day, but you got to figure out where you better be 100% during your day. And you better be on it. Are you with me? And when you're 100%, be 100%. Don't be 30%. We don't need a dim light bulb here. Wow. Find your connecting strengths. Walk slowly through that crowd. Every day add value to people. Trust me, you do those things, you become a magnet to people. They'll want to be around you because you know how to connect well with people. Hope you enjoyed that lesson. Hope it helps you. Huh? Good.
All right, give me 1 second here to get to the next part. 3 more short videos. This one's relating to others.
In this lesson, I want to continue talking about connecting matters. It's one of the power of 5, the 5 things that you need to do in network marketing to be highly successful in the business. And we've talked about the fact that growth matters and you need to grow. And we're talking now about connecting matters. You need to relate with other people. The best thing I can talk to you about connecting is what I'm going to do. I'm very excited about this because this is going to be a big key for you to unlock the door of relationships in a lot of people's lives. I want to take just a few minutes and talk to you about the 7 motivations of people. Because the difference between a manager and a leader is this. A manager tries to manage everyone the same way. And a leader leads people differently. A leader understands that not everybody has the same motives and same motivations. And so the leader is always trying to find out what motivates a person, where a manager is basically saying, here, this way it's going to be. These are the ways it works. These are the rules. These are the regulations. Here's the book. Let's get going. So I'm going to give you what I have observed, okay, as 7 different types of motivations in people's lives. And what I want you to do is I give you these 7 from a 1 to a 5. As I give it to you and teach it for a minute or 2, I want you to put the number 5 being that's a high motivation for me. A 1 would be that's a very low motivation for me. Okay, this isn't right or wrong. I'm just as I give you the 7 motivations for your people, you and I have these same 7 motivations. So here, number 1, and I don't give them in priority. I've just giving you 7. Number 1 is purpose. And what I mean by purpose is this. People want to do what they were created to do. People are motivated to discover their purpose. In my book, Leadership Gold, I have a chapter that says, people will describe your life in 1 sentence. Choose it now. And I talk about the fact that your legacy, your life is based on what is the sentence that you're going to stick by and live for? What's your purpose statement in your life? Because people are motivated by doing something that fits the purpose that they think that they're here on earth for. So, for example, my purpose statement, I want to add value to leaders who multiply value to others. That's my purpose statement. That's why I'm here right now. That's why I write every book. That's why I travel. That's why I speak. That's why I do conferences. I want to add value to leaders who multiply value to others. In this room, I'm talking to leaders that are over tens of thousands of people. What am I doing? I'm adding value to leaders who then go out and multiply value to others. Does that make sense? Okay, that's highly motivating me. That's my purpose. Well, your purpose is different. It's okay because everybody has a unique purpose, but many people are motivated by the purpose of their life. Okay, from a 1 to a 5, how strong of a motivation is that in your life? Let's go to number 2, autonomy. People want to have freedom to control their lives. One of the great motivations that many people have is I would just like to be in control of my life. In fact, I think a lot of times people come to network marketing because that's what they want to do. They'd like to have some autonomy. I'd like to be my own boss. In my book, Put Your Dream to the Test, I talk about the ownership question. And the ownership question simply asks, is my dream really my dream? And the whole principle out of that, in that Put Your Dreams to the Test book, I talk about 10 questions you have to ask yourself to make sure that your dreams come true. And one of them is the ownership question. Is my dream really my dream? And let me tell you the difference between if it's your dream or if it's someone else's dream. Let me just listen. Don't take notes, just listen. When it's your dream, you'll receive wings in your spirit, in your life. You'll fly when it's your dream. When it's someone else's dream, instead of having wings to fly, you'll feel a weight that'll hold you down. When it's your dream, it'll fire you up. And when it's someone else's dream, it'll drain you. When it's your dream, it'll be fulfilling. When it's someone else's dream, it will fulfill other people. So I'm really being very careful with my two granddaughters, who are both 18 right now, is to make sure they're going after their dream, not Papa's dream. What is it that you would like to do? If you could be anything you wanted to be, if you could do anything you wanted to do, what would you be? What would you do? If it's your dream, you will want to do it. But if it's someone else's dream, they will want you to do it. Wow. Is my dream really my dream? People are motivated by autonomy. They want to have freedom to control their lives. Okay, from a 1 to a 5, what level of motivation would that be for you? Number 3, the third motivation of people is relationships. People want to do things with others. Relationships are very motivating for some people. I laugh because my father-in-law was a highly relational person, and I can still remember he was down to visit us one time, and I was just literally walking, I don't know what, 20 steps to the mailbox, and he was outside. He saw his hat in the mail. He said, "Do you want me to walk to the mailbox with you?" And I looked at him. I said, yeah, cool. Walk to the mailbox with him. Well, hey, relationships were motivating him. Are you with me? Yeah, hey, so it's been a joke since that. That was 20 years ago. Hey, you want me to walk to the mailbox with you here? Heck no. But anyway, but many people doing things together. When people ask me, they say, "John, why do you love your work so much?" I love my work so much because I love the people I work with so much. If I didn't love the people I work with so much, I wouldn't still be working. So I love my work, but just as much as loving my work as I love the people I work with. It's kind of like, wow, I get to be with them again. I love being with them. And it just lifts me. So relationships, that's a motivating principle for a lot of people. Okay. So from a 1 to 5, what would your number be on that? Is it high? Is it low? Where are you? Again, it's not right or wrong. It's just what we're trying to do is discover what motivates me, what motivates you. Because here's what happens. When you discover what motivates your people, you lead them according to their motivation. Number 4 is progress. People want to experience personal and professional growth. How much is progress important to you in your life? One of my first mentors when I was very young, would be 30, young 30s. One of my earlier mentors one time said, "Let me give you a definition of happiness." And so I said, "Okay, what's the definition?" He said, "Growth is happiness." He said, "When you're growing, everything's good." And boy, I migrated that because I progress. In fact, when I was in college, one of the ways I worked my way through college is my brother, who's a few years older than me, had already started buying up apartments and rental places. And so I had a paint crew. We'd go in and paint these places he'd do. And I love painting. It's because, you start your day when the day is, look, we did 3 rooms today. I mean, they weren't very good, obviously, but man, and I just loved it. Here's where we were, and here's where here's where I just love progress. So for me, it's very motivated, and I love numbers. I have my assistant Linda's been with me for 32 years. I mean, I have a very extensive know where I am every month system. And one of mine is just pure numbers. And the other day I thought, I want to count up how many categories of numbers I read every month. I read 37 different categories of numbers every month. Oh, here's where we're. Here's where, here's where we're. Oops, here's where we are. Oh, wow. I have to turn something around. Progress. Some people, that's a very motivating cause. From 1 to 5, how motivating is progress to you? Number 5, mastery. People want to excel in their skill. Many people are motivated by being the very best. They're motivated by excellence, which I love this definition of excellence. It's the gradual progress of always striving to be better. The people are just, they want to develop themselves. They want to get in their strengths, and they want to stay right there in those strengths, and they want to make masterpieces out of their life. And so there doesn't bother them to keep working on it and keep improving it. And I'll have to say, I'm a major professional tweaker. Whatever I did yesterday isn't good enough today. I look at it and say, oh my gosh, I got to go back and apologize to those people. Is that what oh man, I could have done so much better. The only thing I don't love about writing a book is the day that I turn the book into the publisher, the next day I want to change something. Oh, it happens all the time. I'm sitting there and thinking, could I have the book back just for... Okay, mastery. Is that a motivating factor in your life? For some of you, it is. For some of you, it's not at all.
I think this is the last one.
Okay, number 6, recognition. People want people to recognize their accomplishments. Wow. And so, how much is recognition important to me? And by the way, in recognition as a leader,
oh, don't start on me now.
I always do 2 things. I do what I call private recognition, and I do public recognition, and they have two total different results. I do private recognition for connection. In other words, I want to talk to you privately about something I've watched in you that I greatly admired. Here's what you did, and I want you to know I noticed it, and I'm proud of you. And that's huge. And I find that makes a major connection with me as their leader when I privately recognize them. But then I do public recognition also for what I call the, so that other people know. And I do my best to do public recognition, especially to family members. Mark Cole, who's been with me now for almost 20 years and is CEO of all my companies, he travels a lot with me, and he's gone from his family a lot. And whenever I'm with his daughter, or Stephanie, I'm always going to him and saying, I want to let you know how much I appreciate you. Let him look what I want you to know what he's doing for me. Let me tell you a story. I'm always constantly trying to do that because I want to, it's important. So recognition, okay. How important is that one? Okay, as far as a motivation for you. And then let me give you one more. Okay, and the last one is money. There are a lot of people that money is highly motivating to them. They want to be financially secure. And again, I've shared with you in a previous lesson, I think the value of money is it gives you options in life, and it also is an incredible way to help people. It's you can't give what you don't have. And so, and that's a powerful motivation in my life. I already have all I need, so I'm not motivated. Zero motivation for myself, because I'm blessed. Okay, so I don't need anything. But I'm incredibly motivated to make a lot of money, because the only money goal I have in life is how much money I can give away each year. That's the only money goal I have. and I every year I up it. Okay, next year I'm going to give more, and I want to give more, and I want to give more, and I'm very intentional about that, and it's extremely motivating for me to keep bumping that up. So, but some people, if you haven't made some money, you're motivated to make money so you can take good care of your family. So nothing wrong with that. But money's motivation. Okay, now I've given you 7: purpose, autonomy, relationships, progress, mastery, recognition, and money. You got those? Now look at those 5 or those 7 from them, and look at your numbers, because I want to do one little teaching off that, and we'll wrap this lesson up. Okay. If you look at those 7 things, you're going to find that maybe there's 4 of those 7 that you're highly motivated in, and maybe 3 not so high. Okay. So you're going to very quickly identify what motivates you. And it's going to be different in this room. Everybody's motivations will be different. And it's never right and wrong. It's just different. Okay, here's what I want you to catch. This is very important. If you look at your list of 7 things and you looked at your numbers, here's what I know. The more things that you put a high number on, the more highly motivated you are in life. This is huge. Let's say of the 7 things I gave you, you had a 5 on one and maybe a 4 on another one, and the rest of them were 2s or 3s. Then you won't be highly motivated in life because you only have 1 or 2 reasons to be motivated. The more reasons you have to be motivated, the higher your motivation is. Does that make sense? Oh, this is huge. And I learned this when I wrote the book, Put Your Dream to the Test. I do that same there on Put Your Dream to the Test. I say, okay, these are the 10 questions you ask yourself. The more reasons you have to fulfill a dream, the higher your commitment will be to fulfill the dream. If I only have 1 reason, well, I'll get that knocked out of me because life is tough, isn't it, huh? And so I'll quit pretty soon. But if I have 7 high motivations, I'm going to be a highly, highly motivated person. And when I look at my 7, for myself personally, I'm a 4 or a 5 on all 7. Ridiculous. And on 3 of the 7, I'm a 6. It's not even allowed. It's illegal, but I am. Now, what I'm saying is, isn't this huge? Isn't this huge? Because now all of a sudden, because you say, why did they get out of the game? I'll tell you, a lot of people, they get out of the game in your business because they make enough money that they got to wherever they wanted. They reached their money goal, so they said, I've done it. Well, but if you're doing it for other reasons like purpose and relationships and all these other things, then all of a sudden you're still in the game. You're still in the game because there's more than one thing keeping you in the game. Woo. How are we doing? Okay, that's my lesson.
All right. All done with the videos, and I just can't get enough of John Maxwell. I love him, and I know when I look at the way I rated my numbers, they are high, every single one of them. So I would definitely say that's true of me. All right, so you guys, I'm going to introduce you. I know many of you know my friend Dana, but Dana was actually the first friend I made when I moved to my area, to my home. Oh my gosh, I think 20 years ago. So it's been a long time. I met her in church, and we've been friends ever since. And I've watched her master connecting. She is really, really great connecting with complete strangers and then getting Isagenix into the conversation, getting her business into the conversation, and then being able to follow up with them and close them. So Dana, would you first of all, thank you for being with us tonight.
Sure. This is fun. I enjoy John Maxwell also.
Awesome. So share with us a little bit about this chapter. Did it, how do you feel about it? What any stories you want to share with us on Connection?
Sure. I thought this chapter was awesome. I really related well to a lot of the things that he said. He started out in the beginning where he talks about the value of listening and asking good questions and practicing that open body language. And I think the reason that Cindy wanted me to talk about this too was over the past year, I've made some changes with my connecting. And one of those, I'll tell you a little story, is I started a networking group. And I had to stop doing my one-on-one personal trainings on Fridays. So I all in. And when I got there, it's a big group of older and younger people, lots of we were led by young professionals, but it's a great group. So got into this, and what I found was that just listening to them and connecting with them, and some of the things that John Maxwell said about compliment people in front of other people. That's huge for me. That's really helped me connect with this group. In fact, probably out of the 25 people in the group, probably about 40% are now Isagenix users. And the other thing that I've gotten from them is because we complement each other. We're always wanting to add value into each other's lives. So it's not about me getting my referrals when I go there. It's about me giving all of them referrals. And that's what makes it work, because I'm adding value to their lives. And, then they will know, like, and trust me and want to add value to my life. So it's really been a big boost for me this year. I really enjoy it. I've been able to break off and get into other groups. I've become a mentor for a local group that we're trying to build up. So I'll be having first access to them and bringing them in. And then also with the networking group, I've become the mentorship chair. And they asked me to do this shortly after I joined, because they were really excited about the energy that I brought. And as a mentorship or a membership chair, you get to, all the new people that come in or all the guests, you get to talk to them first. So that also gives me an opportunity to connect with them and let them know that I can add value to their life and help them in growing their business. So that's been a really big change for me. And the other one was, I've always been a personal trainer for the last 17 years, so only did one-on-ones. I did not teach classes. I sometimes would sub a class, like a spin class. So I went over to a studio, and now I teach group personal training, and I teach twice a week. And what I've done with this is I get new people in all the time. So what I'll do is, I compliment them on their workout, and then I will look them up on Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is, and I'll ask to be their friends. And then I'll connect with them through private message, and I'll say, hey, Cindy, thanks so much for coming to my class. I really appreciate the time that you spent with us. You did great. I compliment them right away, encourage them to come back to the next class. And I have enrolled a number of people also through having a group personal training class and just following up with them. So I believe that's what you wanted, Cindy, was me talking about, the follow-up and just, adding value to their lives. So.
Yeah, and hang on, don't unmute yourself yet. How many of you guys, type in the chat, how many of you guys are in some type of a networking group, whether it's a BNI, whether it's a paid group, a free group, some type of a group where you're meeting new people and getting new contacts. I want to see how many people are doing that. And while they're doing that, Dana, was this, this is something I suggested to you for a while. Was it uncomfortable once you did it?
Well, of course it was uncomfortable. I mean, I had to drive 35 minutes by myself. Usually I have Cindy with me. And, I had to go early morning on a Friday morning and every week go see these people. And I think, John Maxwell talked about, what are some of the things that you, what do you call them? You're encouraged. Oh gosh, I wrote it down. You connect with people. But I think some of my strengths are is I'm able to walk into like a group like that of people, and immediately, the one girl walked up to me and I'm like, oh, I just love your hair, immediately connect with them and talk to them. So yes, it was very hard. But what I've seen from it is growth, where I was willing to become a membership chair, and I'm willing to go to these other events where I don't know anyone. And now I'm a mentor of a whole nother group that we're trying to grow. So yeah.
Yeah, and this is where growth, guys, it's just not optional. If you want to grow your business, you have got to do things that are going to make you uncomfortable. And if you aren't in a networking group, I'm impressed how many are, so that's awesome. And for those of you that aren't, if growing your business is on your goal, if you're thinking 2020, you really want to take your business to the next level, this might be something to consider, because the heart of our business is connecting with people, and it's connecting with people that are in your warm market, that are already on your list, but it's always connecting with new people and meeting new people. And so wherever you are, you're out and about. I had a flight home from our GoPro event. I paid for internet. I'm sitting in my seat ready to go. I was going to do our Team Z and network do all my connections the whole way home. And a lady comes towards me. I know the flight's full. I've got a middle seat next to me. I see her carrying a Starbucks, and she's got a little Lululemon shopping bag on her arm with all the positive quotes and sayings on them. And she looks at me. We kind of have eye contact. I smile at her, and she's like, "Is that seat taken?" I'm like, "I sure hope it's taken by you. You've got two of my favorite things with you." And she sits down, and we talk, and the 4-hour flight went by like that. Very natural connections. This is going to definitely be a new team member for me, whether it's, we talked business, we talked the whole 9 yards. The only thing I used my Wi-Fi for was to show her our back office and our products and how it all worked. So, you just have to not overcomplicate things. It's easy to connect with people. And, I'm so proud of Dana, because, she doesn't like to have to do that drive every single week. And she has gotten such great results from it, you guys, not to mention her confidence has gone up tremendously with speaking and talking to people in front of a room. Sarah Farnsworth, I think she's on here tonight. She started with a BNI group. I've watched her speaking change. So if you guys are wanting to maybe get a little more comfortable presenting, get a little more comfortable maybe with doing sip and samples, being in a network group is a really great way to do it, and connections. All right, anyone else have anything they want to add or share? And Dana, if there's anything else you want to say, certainly speak up as well.
Sure. I was going to say one more thing about being in those groups, those networking groups. A lot of them have where you go around and you have to introduce yourself initially. So, Dana Marie Dazzo, Isagenix, and that's all you have to do. But then the other thing, each time at the end of the meeting, we have to do a 30-second commercial. So I usually try to, whatever the discussion was, like around Father's Day, I said, I have solutions for, to get rid of that dad's bod. And I immediately had one of the men walk up to me afterwards, like, "I want to hear more about this dad's bod." Another time I did a 30-second and I said something about, better sleep and, more energy. And I had one of the ladies come up to me and she's like, "I want to know about this, this better sleep." So you just kind of have to listen to the room, what's going on. And then it makes me practice. Every week I have to have a 30-second commercial, and it's never the same. And that's come a long way. And then about every 6 to 8 weeks, I also have to do a 20-minute presentation. So I did my first PowerPoint with them. So yeah, 20 minutes. So, that, talk about growth. That's huge. That's huge. And I just wanted to say one thing about what John Maxwell said. When people, connect and when they understand, let's see, what did he say? People connect when they understand, but they commit when they feel understood. And that's a lot of what I have been doing, is making sure people know that I do understand where they are and I'm meeting them there. So
that's awesome.
Say that again, Brenda. Okay. I think it was people connect when they understand, but they commit when they feel understood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. Dana probably can't read her own writing.
Exactly.
All right. Anyone else? Marla, Sister Marla's on there saying, yes, doctor writing. Anyone else have anything that spoke to you through this week's study?
I'll share, Cindy. I've been big on our team group calls, our smaller team calls, on connecting with voice messages. And, it's so easy to shoot a text off to someone. And, I just had an incident, had nothing to do with Isagenix, but there, I got an email and then I actually talked to the gal, and, her written words, once we talked, it was just so much more of a connection. So I guess what I want to say is don't be afraid we're doing something now, we're connecting with 100 people in a week, and we're doing it all with our, voice messaging on our phone. And it just makes a difference. I can't tell you the people that reach back because they can hear your voice. They don't ignore it, and then they hear your voice. So connecting is huge. And I think we think we're connecting with people if we're sending out messages. And I know there's all these great hit them up and blah, 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 and all that. But it takes time. But when you can connect, and I always say this, that if I know that, I have thousands of friends on Facebook and Instagram, and I could go through all there, and I do. But when I go somewhere and actually meet someone and can personally connect with them, it's a game changer. So I just encourage everyone. It is uncomfortable, and I high five Dana for getting up. That's a big commitment to go and do a BNI every single week, and you have to drive there, and but it does force you to get out of your comfort zone. But you guys, even if you're not into going to a BNI group or something like that, you can connect. And even if you're home and you're just, you only have power hour time or Teamsy time, make a lot of your connections voice messages.
Yeah, I know Susan does that with her happy birthdays, and my husband just got one a week or two ago, and he loved getting the voice one because he's not huge on Facebook, doesn't post a lot, but the ones that he got were all just on his wall. So when he got that actual voice message, he was all excited. So yeah.
That's good to hear because of, Eric on Teamsy suggests not sending voice messages.
I don't do everything he says.
Well, I'm not saying we can't do everything anyone says, you kind of have to figure out what works for you. Mm-hmm. So it is true. But, one voice message is a little bit different than when I was with Allie at GoPro. Some girl sent her 5 and we were on the elevator. But in that situation, Allie's like, I'm not going to be able to listen to this for hours.
Oh, yeah. So, I'm talking a little.
Right, but even if it
blip.
was, I kind of get what he's saying, because, a little blip. She actually, I guess the point is, if it was 1, she probably maybe would have taken the time to be like, let me see if I can hear this within, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah, but you can't send a whole, 20-minute webinar with your voice talking because people just won't do that. Because it happens to me too. When I'm out, something like that happened to me while I was at GoPro, and I'm like, I'm not going to be able to listen to this till 10 o'clock at night because there was like 3 voice messages. So keep them short. That's definitely a great point for sure. But really a great touch. And people do love to see you. Like a lot of the connecting I do like a lot of most of the 3 ways that I'm doing are video 3 ways. We do FaceTime where we can get multiple people on there, Instagram. So when people are asking me for 3 ways, we can all see each other. So we don't necessarily have to do a whole Zoom meeting, but we can do so many other different technologies. You can even do it through Facebook Messenger and see each other. And those are all
3 people on through FaceTime?
Yeah.
Or just like a 3-way call?
Yeah, well, you set it up as like you're in a text message with 2 people, and I don't even know how many you can do, but I've only done it with 3. And then I've never initiated it. This is just people bringing me on, but I'm in a text message, an iMessage with 2 people, which I don't know if Samsungs do this, but 2 people, and then they just hit FaceTime, and then we all get connected. You have to click on it, and it's really cool.
That is great, especially if they say, no, I'm not familiar with Zoom.
Yeah, it works really, really well. So, all right,
can you do that through, if you can do that through Facebook Messenger if you have 3 people in there?
Yep, you can. I've done that too. And Instagram.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know.
It's it's because the young people are teaching me these things, Lori. That's the only reason I'm learning.
Yeah, I'm feeling very out of it. Okay.
Just get your kids involved in your business. It'll take years off your life, let me tell you, in a good way. I mean, make you younger. That came out absolutely backwards. Val's probably correct. All right, so next week's topic is mindset. So, of course, that's one of my all-time favorites, and I'm wondering who we have. Oh, guys, next week is our week off because it's so close to Christmas. I was afraid we would get no one on the call. And I'm also having my team party that night. So we're off next week, and I'll post in the group and remind you. The following week, Sarah Farnsworth will be helping us with mindset. So keep reading your book. Don't worry about getting ahead or whatever, but I will wait to post the worksheets prior to the call as a reminder so everybody will get back on. And if I don't see you guys, I'm sure I'll see many of you on our team call tomorrow night. But Merry Christmas. And thank you, Dana, for doing a fabulous job tonight. And I just appreciate all of you guys, and I really hope you're enjoying the book.